What we want to get good at is we want to get better at picking the incongruency. We shared a little thing called muscle testing. When the muscle is stronger, you're up for doing something cool. I'm going to give you guys a little example. Just there. This way a little bit. Okay, over here a bit more. Okay, arm up straight. What's your name?
Chrissy.
Chrissy. So muscle testing, Chrissy. Your name's Chrissy. Hold it strong. Yep, Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy, can you say my name is John?
My name is John.
Say it again. You see, there's a huge difference in the muscle. Huge difference in the muscle. So try your hands like that, or like that, and give it a flick and say, my name is John. See what happens, and say, my name is, and try it. So we're doing a completely free training series here. 12 months ago, we sold this series and a bunch of people bought it, 200 or so US dollars. But we just thought this year, stuff it, we'll give it away. My name's Adrian. I'm from Townsville, Australia. I'm up in a little remote place, a little remote city. And at the moment, I'm hanging out in Shanghai. And I thought, why not just give this stuff away, make it a little bit easier for people? And we're going to share it completely free. And I just want to review some of the things we shared last week and keep rolling and go further down the list about mastering communication. It is of my opinion that the best coach in the world is the results you're getting. So if you're not getting the results you want in life, you might need some kind of coaching or adjusting. Not necessarily that you need to hire someone, you might need to coach yourself. Yeah. If you're getting absolutely fantastic results in everything, hunky-dory, give it a little bit of time, things will change. And people use coaching and training because they want to get what they want to get sooner. There's always been Buddhas, monks, different religions to help people align. And we all want to get more alignment in life. So last week we spoke a bit about alignment. I'm passionate about this work, and sometimes I need help. And sometimes because of the kids, I need realignment or I need help. You guys ever get help? You do. You all get help. So sometimes help comes from a friend, sometimes a mother or a father, sometimes a professional in whatever field. And it's totally okay to get help. And if you're not getting help, you're drowning. It's ridiculous not to get help. Even Buddha sought out help. Yeah. So these are some of the people that helped me along the way. The best coaches in the world, my kids, and Jay, who's in here, and a couple of other beautiful trainers and coaches. Now, I am not smarter. I'm not a gifted. I was born perhaps with just as much intuition, just as much emotional intelligence as anyone else, or if not, perhaps a bit less. None of my family was super intelligent, but I learned that I can learn, and I started to learn stuff, the EQ first and the mindfulness. And it's great to understand things like an amygdala hijack and the way the neocortex works and that. But how do you actually make the changes? Well, NLP, I found, neuro-linguistic programming, was the best way to make the changes. So although it's great to say, hey, connect to your heart, how do you actually do it? Well, we might want to look at people that have done it and find out how they did it. And NLP is the how. It's not the why, it's the how. How do we actually make the changes? So I fell in love with it. And I think it's been 12, 14, 15, 16 years or so that I've been doing and learning about NLP, and I'm still doing it today. I've invested a pile in personal development, NLP, ICF, psychotherapy, advanced hypnosis, trance work, grad certificate, university, NLP trainers training. I'm about to go on another trainers training. Next, in 2 weeks, I was debating whether to fly over to Taiwan two wonderful trainers are doing training in Mandarin. I do not speak enough Chinese to really learn. So I figure if I go and do another training in a language I don't fully understand, I am going to take in information differently. I'm going to have a whole new set of information coming in, and perhaps my conscious brain, the chit-chat, won't be able to do as much because it won't make a lot of sense, and I'll be more focused on watching the way the trainer trains, or I'll get other information. So my expertise has been going deeper and deeper and deeper into the one field, NLP, rather than getting scattered. And for the coaches in here, be careful, because it's very easy, also for the meditators, for those that like to meditate, or those that like to go to the gym perhaps, it's very easy to go from one piece of equipment to another piece, to another piece, or one meditation style to another, to another. With a lot of these works, the real magic comes from going deep. And a lot of coaches find themselves going from this model to that model to that model, and they end up with the marketing as well, and they're marketing on this platform, that platform, and it often ends up meaning that they're basically going to a gym and using each piece of equipment once, compared to using one bit of equipment and getting really good at it. Now, Bruce Lee said the equivalent is that, and he's a hell of a lot smarter than me. Fear the man that practices one move 1,000 times. And one thing with AI is making a lot of things easier, and it's making it even easier to go scattered and broad. But the thing is, while AI can help us do that, I think we can use AI to help us get better at our skill. So if, let's say, for example, you're helping people release books, maybe stay in it and get better and better and better and better and better at it. A couple of multimillionaires I know, they all believe they make their success by being the best at their trade. Two clear examples: a plasterer, plastering the walls, and a tiler. Who on earth would believe that you could make millions tiling? Well, he became one of the best, and he brought in more tilers, and he made a great success simply by being the best tiler in the town. And the town was only, say, 200,000 people. But he's the best tiler in town. He does the best houses, the best jobs, the highest quality. Now, being at the highest quality means people pay a premium for the highest quality. Yeah. Someone might meet me in Shanghai and buy me a drink or buy me lunch and have a photograph. Cool. But people will pay tens of thousands of dollars to get a photograph with someone like David Beckham. So my little thing for the people out there is to perhaps consider getting focused and going in. The coaches also talk about going broad. Sorry, coaches talk about the niches are in the riches. Focusing on the content. But there is a bit of a benefit in going broad. For coaches, when you go broad, you have a wide range of expertise and you see more of the patterns, the meta patterns, the bigger, broader patterns. So one of my things here is I've invested a pile of money on my training. I don't invest money in marketing training, so apologies if the marketing isn't the best. I say screw marketing, and my mentor told me as well. He said, Adrian, stick to your skills. Don't worry about marketing. Now, my little marketing pitch, I'm going to Chiang Mai. We've done a couple of these trainings in Bali. You can see the size of the group, 20, 30 people. You're more than welcome to join us, and we'll have other world-class trainers there. Hey, Jasmine, thanks for turning on. Did you like Bali? Yeah. Now, Jasmine got the basics, but she's coming back here to review because there's value in reviewing the basics, yeah? I'll skip a bit of this. Motivate communities, where we started, where we're all about going hard and helping people be the best. We bring in world-class trainers, and I hope you would meet some of them. We've had this week, we've got 2 of our graduates, Janine and Alicia, on the TEDx stage, and also on the TEDx stage yesterday, we have our co-trainer, Kevin. So we've only got about 90 graduates, and out of those 90 graduates, 2 of them and a co-trainer have been on TEDx this week. So we're more about results, okay? Training online, advanced training every Wednesdays, and we've been going with these free trainings since 2012. So avoid the fakes, use LinkedIn. If you want to see if people are the real. So as I covered before, we're going to start with building the foundations, neurological levels, congruency, and calibration. Did we do a good enough job of that last week? Did we do a good enough job of that last week? Okay, so maybe some people haven't got it. If you want the recording, message Estrelita and Udarko, and we can send their recording on to you, but the recording may not have been the highest quality last week. Solid foundations are the key. So a lot of people will do a coaching course or a teaching course, maybe a therapy course, and after they do one, they tend to stop. They're like, I got the basics. I keep going. We have the same thing with basic communication. We learn how to speak our native language, English, Chinese, Flemish, Dutch, whatever it is. I can't remember. What's the South African language? What do you call your South African language?
I don't know. We have 11 official languages.
All right. Now, when you have those 11 languages, the chances are a lot of people will go from one language to another, or they might just have a couple. And I know you can understand all kinds of language, but do people go deep enough? So with English, we learn English. We've got it. We go on. And when people do a TEFL course, like learning to teach English to foreigners or these kind of English training, English people realize, oh God, there's a lot more to our language than we originally knew. The magic is really in the basics. But most people go through the basics and they look for a variety of new shiny objects. If you've done coach training, like some of us have here, we allow all of our graduates to come back again. Now, some people like Dino in Yolanda, they did the basic training, and Dino particularly, he did the basic training. I think he did it like 4 times. Yeah. So he paid for it once, he came 4 times. My trainer did that back in 2012. He said, when you come on the training, you can repeat it for free. A lot of schools do it, right? I do this master prac training. It's like about 8 months. Yolanda and Dino, they went through it for 3 years, same as Jay here. They went through it because they wanted to get better and better and better. Keep getting better at the basics. I just want to stop for a second. Any little bells going on? Yep. You're thinking, yep. Get better at the basics. And by the way, if you were writing a book, and you wanted an editor or a publisher, would you pick an editor or a publisher that was also a coach, also a teacher, also a cook, also a cleaner, managed a hotel part-time, had an eBay shop, and a side gig as an actor? Would you hire them to edit your book? Well, you'd be like, hang on, that person does too many things. Yeah. So people want specialists. Why I'm so passionate about the NLP is because we become a specialist in communicating. So we call this mastering communication. We become a specialist in communicating, not necessarily a specialist in coaching, a specialist in communicating. Because if you're a specialist in communicating, then that makes therapy, coaching, training all easier, right? You don't have to limit yourself although we call this mastering communication and coaching introduction, you don't have to limit yourself to coaching. This building the foundations goes for you. How solid are your foundations? How often do you doubt yourself? How often do you tell yourself, "Damn, you're good. You've done a good job"? Or how often do you review your own performance and look back and give yourself a high five? The foundations, the foundations of foundations. So one thing to help you with the foundations, we did the neurological levels, and it's really important the foundations are set before we move into advanced communication, MIC, which we'll do next week, and advanced integration. This is session 2. We covered this last week. Did anyone want to ask any questions about this model while we're here? Do. I don't like doing lectures. Do you want to ask any questions about this model?
Can you explain it a bit? It's my first time seeing it.
This model is a way of considering different ways of classifying things like a belief system, our behavior, the world around us. So sometimes when we're talking, I'm here in a hotel room in Shanghai today. That's the environment. And I'm here in this environment and I'm behaving a certain way. I'm behaving like a presenter or a facilitator, and I have the capability to do that. I have the capability to do this because I've done it so many times and I believe I can. I also believe I have the Zoom codes, and I believe people will be here. Now, pause there, and I'm going to go down the pyramid. Now, if I believed someone would shoot me if I didn't do a good enough job, I would believe, oh my God, I've got to do a really good job. So my capabilities might expand and my behavior might be a lot more serious, and I might even put on a suit, and my environment might change and I might have a whiteboard and stuff. Yeah. So whether we go up or down, these things interact and interplay with each other. And when people tell me they want to change the environment around them, I might say, well, what's your behavior? What are you capable of doing? And sometimes we start to talk about people's beliefs. And when you have a belief system or a pile of beliefs, our beliefs come from our values. Well, whether they do, it's a way to see it. So we have a value like love, and the value of love has the beliefs. And if we believe we're capable of loving, the more we believe we're capable of loving and believe we're lovable, the more likely we are to be capable of doing it and have the behavior and create the environment. Right? Now, if someone changes from girlfriend to girlfriend to girlfriend, or boyfriend, 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 they're kind of, in one regard, they're changing the environment, but they might not necessarily fulfill their actual value of love. Or maybe they enter a relationship and they have a short-term love, and after 6 months, that love kind of fades away, so they go for a new person. And a person can live like that, going round and around and around and around and around about. So sometimes you want to have a conversation about values of the belief system and help people recognize, or help us recognize, are we really fulfilling our value of love by looking around? Some people have a high value for freedom, and they're high value of freedom, and they have a belief that they make a business. So they have the capabilities of running the business, they develop themselves, they run a business, and then sometimes they find out, oh, they don't actually have the freedom. So they change businesses or change jobs. Our values, our love and stuff is a way of viewing it. So Jay and I here, we have a lot of similar values. We both value our health, but we might believe in it in slightly different ways. But Jay and I, when we look at our diets and our lifestyle, a lot of it is pretty similar. And we share the same value, and health is like our top value. So we eat healthy. We don't stay up too late. We don't drink a lot of alcohol. We'll have friends around. We'll have a drink, but one drink, that's it. Our identity, our identity is healthy, holistic guys that don't drink. Well, but can flex. And maybe we have a label like flexitarian. Now we might have a label like vegetarian, and that might be because of our beliefs, or we might be have a religious belief or a spirituality. In our spirituality, we might believe in karma. So because of that karma, we have certain values, and it goes all the way up and down. With this model, it's useful because coaches can operate at a certain level or a couple of levels, and teachers may operate on a different level. And if you see a spiritual guru, the spiritual guru might be working more on the spirituality identity level. When we move forward, and if you go forward with kind of coaching, you might like to consider if you're like going to be like a sports coach or a performance coach, and be working on the behavioral capability level. My coaching tends to be more around the values level. And I'll just, one of my clients last night, he's a real true guru. He's more on the spirituality identity level. This isn't a model this is a model you can introduce, but its use keeps going forever. All coaches, trainers should grab this model and start working with it. Cahill, can I pronounce it right? Cahill?
Yeah, kale. Just like the vegetable.
That's cool, man. Now, I know there's more to it, but that's a little introduction on that model, but it's going to come up again in a minute. In a few minutes, it'll come up again. So a lot of questions on the model. Anyone else want to ask a question about the model? Great. Useful. Handy. I shared, I believe that all communication gains is to gain alignment. So whenever we're communicating, we're trying to gain alignment. We often have this alignment, and we did an exercise. This is our slides from last week. We had this little exercise, and this exercise, we were looking at the non-verbal communication. We were looking briefly at ways to tell if people were congruent or not. Cahill and anyone that wasn't here, when we talk to fulfill something. We talk for a reason. I have a value and a belief that by sharing this, we make the world a better belief. So you share it, and by sharing it, it's congruent and it's congruent. My body language is congruent. It's all smooth and congruent. If I tell you I love kale, I love kale, do you believe me? I love kale?
Yeah, no.
Why not?
Because of the facial expressions. Body language.
What about this? I love kale. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean no, because I love a good salad. I do love a good salad. For me, the faces are more of an indicator. Yeah, I love kale, right? And this being able to detect the incongruence, like I love salad. Being able to detect the incongruencies is so important because we have incongruencies in ourselves. We have incongruencies in ourselves. And I'm going to check. Put your hand up. If you think all of you wants the same thing. You do not experience part of you wants to make more money or have a better career, but a part of you wants to enjoy life a bit more. We all kind of have these things where part of us wants to have an easier life and part of us wants to be more disciplined. Or part of us wants to make more money, but part of us wants to spend it on stuff. We have this incongruence. It's like driving a car left and right. And I mean, we all have it. The thing is the more we get alignment, the more we get results. And we can look at this from a coaching perspective. I'm here to help you get aligned. What are you experiencing? But we can look at it on an internal. And this is where we practice. I want people to become more and more aware of when you say. I had a lady say this just the other night. She said, I wish I could take the time out to come to the training. I wish I could take the time out, come to the training and get better. I wish. And I said to her, I hear you wish to come to the training. I do not want to. Yeah. So she said, I wish I can come to the training. I said, well, do you want to? And she just stopped dead in the track. She just stopped. And she started to process. So she wished, when I said, do you want? Yeah. It's easy to wish for a magic cure, wish for the perfect man, wish for the perfect woman, wish for the Lamborghini, wish for this, wish for that. But do you actually want it? And generally, when it comes to, okay, wanting is what we call a modal operator. Wanting and wishing are quite different. When I want something, I'm going to go get it. If I wish for something, yeah, it's wishing. That's called wishing. Wishing and wanting. We actually have a pretty solid process around that. A very similar process is wanting to learn. No, wanting to know versus wanting to find out. You know, some things you really want to learn. You really want to learn how to be better. You want to learn how to get the things you want in life. And sometimes you just want to know, where are my keys? Yeah, where are my keys? Where's the Google map? The result is when you just want to know where it is, or what's the answer, or what am I here for? If you just want to know how to master communication, you're not going to get it. You're not going to succeed. You might get the logical data, but if you approach communication or any form of it with the concept of I want to know, you won't get that far. But if you approach it with the mindset of I want to learn, yeah, we get more involved, and it's more of a continual rolling thing. And that's a slight subtle difference, just like wishing and wanting. It's subtle. It's subtle. It's like when someone says, I'll try to meet you tomorrow. I'll try. Try is a modal operator as well. Yeah? Should is another one. When you hear the word should, a should is generally someone else's imposition. Mum and dad said, I should go to bed early. Now, when we hear these modal operators, it is an indicator of incongruency. Now, when you learn this, you can apply this on emails, messaging, SMSs, and improve your communication like that. So the modal operators are great. And obviously you can hear it. Yeah. So modal operators is a great area to go in depth. And there's something like 200 or so modal operators. And there's also combinations. One thing that you might want to try yourself as you get around is ask yourself, do I want it or do I need it? Should I? Have I? And then if you want, add an extra one like I choose to want it. I choose to want this, or I need, or I choose to need to improve the foundations I have. I desire to choose NLP. So we can play around that because being habitual creatures, we generally just say, I want, I need, or I should. So when you look a bit deeper, you can do this little language tweak, really small, really subtle, but it'll increase performance. Kale. I do like salad.
Yeah. Me too, actually. I'm vegan, by the way. So I was wondering if you can speak what you want or what you aspire to be. Can you trick your your like body language into shifting from incongruency to congruency? Like, can you speak yourself into it, or you have to do something different to make your body align with what you're saying?
Okay, I think we've all tried tricking people before. Especially when we're kids. Don't we try to trick our parents? Did you do X? Did you do Y? Did you come home on time? Did you do your homework? Right? So as kids, we learn and we try. And some people get good at faking it. And I can teach you how to fake it. But the thing is, you can only fake it so much because you got these things called lie detectors. So yeah, you can fake it to an extent. You can fake it to an extent of the skills of the listener or the observer. So I've actually had coaching sessions where people have lied and faked it. And sometimes I think they didn't even know. I think they tricked themselves. You know, I would say, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this thing? They're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I just got the littlest no signal, or they used the try. Yeah, I'm going to try to do it, which is obvious. Or there's been a little something. And the more I practice the basics, the sharper I am at seeing it. So it's very hard for people to bullshit to me face to face. It's incredibly hard. And it's a bit challenging for some of my closest friends appreciate it. Your true authenticity will trigger others. So yeah, you can fake it. But when I do speaker training, some of my clients say they hire me because they're going on the human resources are going for a new job, or one gentleman's going on television. So he calls me up because he wants to get better at television. And he asks me, Adrian, can you teach me some techniques so I don't look like I'm scared? Great. So I can show you some techniques. How about we just work on you being happy to be on stage? So rather than these body language techniques to fake it, we're a lot better off simply going up. There we go. So someone faking body language, you see body language, where's that? That's down the bottom of the pyramid on behaviors. So if we teach people to fake their body language, but on a higher level, they believe it. Let's say I'm going to try to sell you guys a car. So I actually believe the car's a piece of crap. So I fake my body. Yeah, this is a really good car. And I might hype myself up. Yeah, it's a good car. It's a good car. It's a good car. It's a good car. Yeah, come on, it's a good car. But deeper down inside, if I know it's a crap car, my conscious is going to kick in. So if you're going to ever hire salespeople, right, your salespeople have to completely believe in the product. You'll see when people work at Porsche or Audi, they don't bounce around the car yards. They stay in the one car yard because they love that brand. My friend John, he's in Shenzhen at the moment. He loves BYD, the car BYD. He loved the car. He went back to Australia. He's financially set. He loves the BYD, the electric BYDs so much. He went back to Australia and he called me up. He's like, Adrian, I want to go and sell BYDs. And he told me about the Dolphin and the G6. He was so enthusiastic about. Has anyone here been in the G6 or the BYD Dolphin? I jumped in one the other day. I love it. I thought I was in a Tesla. I thought I was in a Tesla X because it had the whole big moon roof. And, you know, it was super silent and stylish. Wow. Now, I could sell you that car because I loved it, my belief. And because I believe in it, my body language will show you that. Has anyone had experience with narcissists? One of the big problems with narcissists, and I don't like to use a term, but one of the problems with narcissists is similar to the pathological liar. Often they believe something that's wrong, and they believe it so strongly that they don't have the possibility that they could be wrong. Yeah. They believe something that's wrong, and they believe it so strongly, it causes all kinds of problems. So you can fake it, but don't fake it. Work on your beliefs. If you guys work in a company and you don't like the product, you won't be good at selling it.
I was wondering For
Yeah,
example, yeah, I was thinking that if you have a good posture, and even though you didn't have a good one before because you had low self-esteem, maybe having good posture can influence your mindset and make you more confident. So maybe like body can influence spirituality, or does it really have to be
I have never worked
from
on
top to bottom?
I have never worked on my posture, yet I get complimented sometimes on my posture. 10 years ago, people pointed out I had bad posture. 10 years later, they're saying I got good posture. I didn't work on my posture, but I worked on my belief system. I cleared up a lot of the stuff from my past. I had some post-traumatic stress, addictions. The more we clean up our timeline, the more we clean up our past, the better our posture gets. When people do like a lot of meditation or a lot of inner work, their eyes change. Yeah. And it's not like their eyes change and they're permanently different. Sometimes I come to this city, Shanghai, and I see my friends and they look into my eyes. Sometimes they look into my eyes and sometimes they're like, dude, you're glowing. And sometimes they're like, you're not glowing this time. What's happening? And I'm like, oh, I've been away for too long. So the inner work comes out in the eye, and it actually comes out in your body, in your breathing, in your eyes, probably your face, and a few other places. Now, I want to just pause for a split second. Oh, Vicky, can you please let my friend up? Yeah, could you let them in? Thanks, Vicky. Shishi. I love good hotel staff. So the more work we do, the more it fixes the posture.
Hey, Mr. Adrian, could I add something in the theme of what you were talking about? I just sent you a photo. I've just finished reading a pretty astounding book called Into the Magic Shop. And what its correlation to what this is, the magic is basically how to change yourself and to focus and achieve what you want through meditation and mind magic, whatever you like to call it. But one of the things that I sort of got the gist of recently was that our brain and our mind doesn't know the difference between actually doing and meditating and believing that we can do it. And that's a technique that is used by sportsmen. In their mind, they visualize and actually see themselves performing the maneuver that they want, or they see themselves achieving what it is they want to do. So if a person wants to behave in a certain way and they practice that behavior, they can then perform that behavior because they take it on, whether it's into their belief system or not. I'll let you talk about that. That's an interesting thought. But the point is, with NLP, we help people practice in their mind what it is they want to achieve. And any person can do it themselves, except NLP coaching is the quicker route to actually achieving it. Because the mind, once it's practiced visually, once it's worked through in a session with NLP, it's a memory, and that is what then allows a behavior. So I'll share the book. It's called Into the Magic Shop by James Doty, and he has a second book out, and it's phenomenal.
So when we see ourselves doing something in our imagination, like a baby watches people, sees people start to walk. Baby doesn't know how to walk, but it sees it. And then tries and tries and tries. But what's different between your attitude and a baby's attitude? What do you do when you fall over? What's your response when you fall over?
You don't cry, you pick yourself up.
That's it. And you learn and adjust. Yeah, in adult life, when we fall over, what happens? Oh, people laugh at us. But by the way, have you ever learned that someone that's failed recently? Maybe not, unless you're looking at those funny videos. That we have so much fear about people watching us fail, we don't really try. The babies have less fear. They just try and try and try and try. I shared a story last week. Tony Hawk was the first person in the world to do a 900, 2.5 rotation on his skateboard. Tony Hawk had been learning how to skate all his life, world's best skateboarder. Goes up, 900-degree turn. First person ever world record. About 6 months later, a 12-year-old kid does a 1080. 10-year-old kid breaks his record, right? So the kid watches Tony Hawk and he says, if he can do that, I can do that. I just don't know how yet. Now, one of the things we do with our coaching, it's in all kinds of in different schools teach it. We call it a future pace. So if you have a goal or something you want to pursue, take a few moments and see it. Actually, like, see it, imagine it, hear it, feel it. And by doing that, you're lighting up the neural network. You could look at some of those neuroscience books, and that'll tell you. When you actually do it, you light up the neuro connections and the pathways. So after you visualize yourself doing it, you've now got the pathway and it's easier to do it. So any goal you want to get, anything you want to achieve, if you visualize it first, you will create it easier. But okay.
So it's more efficient to work from top to bottom, meaning from the mind to the behavior, instead of forcing your behavior to build a habit.
Well, it depends. If I'm selling you products, I might want to work on the bottom so you keep buying products. Yeah. But if I want to be really effective with our time, yeah, it would generally start up higher. Yeah. Change your belief system, change everything below. Like someone who is overweight and suddenly they have a heart attack. All their life they've been trying to get into better shape. Suddenly they have a heart attack. Oh, I got to change my life. Suddenly business becomes a lower value and health becomes a higher value, and everything underneath changes automatically. In my work, sometimes I've had people and I've given them an artificial heart attack in our work. We do a little process in the left path to right path. In the left path, we go down and imagine something like a heart attack. And the person says, oh my God, I hate that. And I'm like, that's right. Leave that over there. And let's get on the right path. And in the right path, we spend the majority of time and we do positive visualizations around what we want. And we spend more time with the right path and get the person going down the right path and leaving what's left behind. Nessa, did you want to add something? Okay, I shared the other week, we got a bunch of senses: visual sense, auditory sense, kinesthetic sense, touch. We also have smell, taste, and the vestibular system. The vestibular system is inside our little earlobes, and we may even have more senses than that. But with our work, we generally focus on the first three: the visual, auditory, kinesthetics. Some people get confused, the kinesthetics. That's why I added that bit down the bottom about the kinesthetic evaluation. So some people like to see your product or see the goal or see what they want, and that's enough. Some people prefer to talk about it. And some people prefer really to activate feelings. I was with a little boy today, and the little boy's he's really into the feelings. Yeah, he didn't want to talk. He wanted to do stuff and tickle and play games and play guns. I'm going to jump forward a bit and move in. When we're telling the truth, our body is more congruent. When people are congruent and when you are congruent, if let's just say, for example, you're selling cosmetic surgery. If you believe in your product, you're going to believe in the results. Your body is going to be aligned, and it's all going to be easy. But if part of you believes in cosmetic surgery and another part of you doesn't believe in cosmetic surgery, we're going to get this mixed message. One of my best friends sells cosmetic surgery. She's a nurse. Yeah. She believes in it. She loves it. She does it. Another friend of mine's a nurse. She doesn't believe in it. She doesn't sell it. She's like, I can't do it. I don't believe in it. Yeah. When my friend that does, she's fully congruent. She likes it. She loves it. She sees positive effects. And also, because she has so much faith and belief in it, she also sees a lot more of the benefits. And I don't care if you're an Israeli supporter or a Palestinian supporter. If you believe in one side, it'll actually affect your brain. If you believe one side is right, you'll actually find information and find beliefs to support that, whatever that side may be. It's like a battle of beliefs. What we want to get good at is we want to get better at picking the incongruency. So when you, like kale before, I said part of me likes kale. I ate some today in a salad. The kale doesn't do it for me. Right? I want to get alignment. I'm going to go to Guangzhou tomorrow, and all of my body is saying, yep, I'm doing that. Sometimes if I get an incongruency, I want to work on that in myself. I want to work on that with my clients. The more you work on yourself, the easier it is to work with clients. We shared a little thing called muscle testing. When the muscle is stronger, you're up for doing something cool. I'm going to give you guys a little example. You stand up. Just there. This way a little bit. Okay, over here a bit more. Okay, arm up straight. What's your name?
Chrissy.
Chrissy. So muscle testing, Chrissy. Your name's Chrissy. Hold it strong. Yep, Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy, can you say my name is John?
My name is John.
Say it again. You see, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference in the muscle. Huge difference in the muscle. So try your hands like that or like that and give it a flick and say, my name is John. See what happens and say, my name is, and try it. Try it. Can you try it, please? Yep. Say something that's truthful. Truthful. I like kale. I don't like kale. Keep trying to, and put your hand up when you can feel the difference. When you can feel the difference, okay. For those that can feel, rather than flicking, try just rubbing gently. My name is John. My name is Adrian. That might be harder. But this you can do no matter where you are. So practice this if you want to gain congruency. And if you're ever doing public shows, get someone to turn up. When you're doing a public show, do a public demonstration. And most people are not aware of it. So public demonstration of that, and what about results? Okay, we spoke about that last week. And we gave an advanced assignment. Tallulah, you said you did this?
Yes, I did.
Can you don't need to get into the specifics, but can you share something about what this exercise did for you? So this exercise we did, you didn't have to do it. I explained it. And this lovely lady here took the time to work on her values. So yeah, how did it go?
It went well. I think it's been a while since I did a value check, so I actually enjoyed it because I realized a lot of my values have changed within the span of a year. And then I think kind of the experience of it was to realize that some of the things I said I valued out loud to my friends and my coworkers did not necessarily align with the daily choices I was making. So I was like, ooh, I think I need to adjust like my daily choices so it better lines up with what I say I value.
And
Yeah,
you've
that's
done it before. And how long ago did you do it?
Sorry?
When was the last time you did it?
Sorry, Adrian, you break up a little bit. Could you speak
Oh.
a little bit closer to the computer?
When was the last time you mentioned you did a values check before? Was that a couple of months ago or a couple of years ago?
No. I think last year, April, maybe.
Fantastic. So do you think it was valuable and worth your time to do it?
Yeah, and I enjoyed it.
If I was to give everyone a free one-to-one session, I would go straight to here because this would give you the best impact. Yeah. If I just wanted to sell my product and sell, I might behavior and teach your body language or something. But that's not me. So when I give a lot of one-to-one sessions, I go straight to something like this. When someone is telling me they have a problem with their beliefs or limiting beliefs, I go up to the value. But this is a very valuable assignment to do. You look at your top values, and once you look at your top values, you work on the definitions, what happens before, after, and examples and evidence of how the value is met. So you take any value like love, and this exercise teaches you the belief system of the value. And then we ordered the priority. We actually taught this on Wednesday nights, and we did it. We did this over 2 months, working purely on this. So, Jay, was that a worthwhile exercise for you when we went deeper into that?
Oh, most certainly. Even at my tender young age of 50 plus, I had quite a epiphany with some of the events when I was focusing on an issue, and it was giving me this little bit of an uncomfortableness. And when we utilized a bit of the process going through, I realized that my values, there was 2 that I hadn't even looked at. I think I have it here. Oh yes, tolerance and acceptance, compassion and empathy. I put 2 lots. They were not in my values. Even though I likely practiced them, there was not a realization of these things being important to me. So that was quite an amazing discovery in looking at the values and how they affected some of my behavior. So yeah, well worth it. Thank you.
That exercise and training is like a Windows 95 computer or a Windows 97 computer. And I used to say it's like upgrading from a Windows 95 computer to Windows 11. And it's not really Windows 11. It's a lot better than that. A lot better than that. Because you're the author of your life. And maybe you don't want Microsoft doing the privacy stuff. So you get to design your own life, and perhaps you're in your 30s, and perhaps what it's like in your 30s, right? You have less money, less money, more time, so you end up working your ass off. And then when you're in your 50s, you got more money, less time, right? So we have a change in value system, and a midlife crisis or the death of a child generally results in a dramatic change. It's like an identity crisis. So the values all change, and the values often get confused. So when people have like a midlife crisis, what happens is there's confusion. There's a confusion oh, that used to be really important. Now it doesn't provide me any satisfaction. I used to get so much joy out of her or the job. It used to be such a wonderful relationship or such a wonderful job. What's happened is there's been a change. And when those changes come about, this exercise is the magic wand. So one littlest example is, what does success mean to you? Now, Jay, maybe we can just do it here and I can shut up for a minute. I just like to ask everybody, what does success or what is a successful life mean to you? Please, anybody, what does a successful life mean to you? Come on. What does a successful life mean to you? Loving partner, kids. Not everyone has those. Not everyone has that. Maybe a successful life to you is proving to yourself you're good enough. Well, that might be on a really deep level. Apologies.
There's a couple of comments there. One
Can you read
says an impactful life. Abby says an impactful life is success. And Cahill has said adding value, making the world a better place.
I share a bit of that, Cahill. I had enough success in my life, and I was traveling around the world. And I remember looking out the window, buses, Iran, Iceland, India, going, what's the purpose of my life, or what's next? I got the freedom, and it was like, what's next? And at some point I stumbled onto coaching and went, that's what's next. I can add value to people's lives. I started doing the coaching events like this. Did events like this in a whole variety of countries, from like Romania, Bulgaria, all the way to Hong Kong, because I wanted, my values shifted and sharing of others became a higher priority. A couple of years later, I found out about professional coaching, and I realized you can get paid for it. And I was like, oh my God, that's cool. I can help people and I can get paid. Yeah. 10 years later, I'm still doing the coaching and training. And I do it largely because it shares my value for being able to share. The money is a side bonus. Yeah. Someone pays for coaching, great. If they don't pay for coaching, I'm cool. But if I work with someone for one session or 5 sessions, if they don't get a big change, because 5 sessions with me is a complete life change, right? If they don't get a big life change, I'm unhappy. I don't feel successful. If I do 1 session with someone and they don't get any shift at all, I'm like, didn't do a good enough job. If I do 5 sessions with people and they don't get a big change, I'm like, that's successful. But that's my definition. So I would encourage you to update your definition and perhaps consider doing it regularly. Yeah, what do you guys take away from this picture? Can people change? You think this girl here will change? Who's yes, who's no?
Seems like she's blaming other people instead of changing herself.
And the guy's got the love hearts in his eyes. All the way, he's got love hearts in the eyes to the end. Some people believe people don't change. I don't believe that. I believe people can change. Just like you can change. And I think you're changing all the time. Nice thumbs up there, Jay.
I'll add something there.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Adrian. The ability to change depends upon the severity of the stimulus to make it happen.
I'm going to say the same thing in some different words soon. Say it again.
You were too far away from your microphone. We didn't hear what you said. I said the likelihood of change is dependent upon the severity of the stimulus to make it happen.
Depends on the stimulus, the severity, like the depth of the stimulus. If the stimulus is good enough, maybe it'll change. I think my mic's fixed up now. That sounds better.
Oh, yes, finally.
I didn't realize, sorry. And when one person says it, it's like sometimes it says when two people say it. Okay, attention, microphone's off. Not quite right. Depends on the severity. People can change, but some things stop people from changing, and it depends on what kind of level you're talking about, because we're all changing right now, breath in and breath out, right? So what stops people from change? Well, part of me wants to change it, part of me doesn't. Incongruency. I want to be a millionaire, but I want to have a loving relationship, but I think it's that incongruency that gets in the way. When we're really congruent, we don't have that. When we have something like part of me wants to change and I am, or I will become a millionaire, or I am creating a loving relationship, these are all examples. See, incongruence, congruence, incongruence, congruence. And our communication, be it coaching or teaching, is about going from incongruence to congruence. Sounds simple. It is, and you can do this. It's about getting all the incongruent across to congruent. Part of me wants to go on and make $10 million. And I'm not sure how much I'm willing to sacrifice to do that. So I'm very happy with what I'm doing, and I'm very happy with my work. Part of me wants to change, and I'm very happy with the change work I'm doing, and I'm going to do more of it. It's a very valuable word, that and then shifting the modal operators. So the coaching and communication, whether it be your kid, your client, selling something, the person buying the car isn't congruent yet. They think they want the car. They're not quite sure they want the car. Part of them wants a car. Part of them doesn't. Yeah. Once they get alignment, the decision is made. But there's a couple more things that make it a little bit more complex. Whoop. Apologies. So if you try driving a car and you're going to go left and you're going to go right, not going to work. Or driving with the handbrake on, or stepping on the accelerator and the brake at the same time. Now, people like Jay, we're going to have to change our metaphor soon, because it won't be long, and we're going to have self-driving cars very soon. Now, the congruence involves conscious and our unconscious. So sometimes a split is between like conscious and unconscious. Sometimes a split is between left and right. Sometimes a split is between the head, heart, and the gut. Yeah. Sometimes a split is in different places. Yeah. So the congruence supports our capabilities and all our behavior, but the congruence is time-bound. Time-bound. Example, when I sleep in a big hotel room by myself, I might get lonely and I might change my goal. So I go down the road and I go to a nightclub or a bar. And I don't do that. Yeah, but I did 10 years ago. Yeah. Or part of me really, really wants to get a bunch of food and eat food. And I can be really congruent with wanting to eat. But then I eat and I'm no longer congruent with eating. I now want to rest. Yeah. Some people really, really want to make $1 million, and all of them wants to make $1 million. They watch a YouTube video they get inspired, they get empowered, they listen to a speaker selling some kind of, I don't know, get rich quick system or a school, or they see a video about making online courses, they get completely congruent. I'm going to make a course. All of their body and mind, their conscious, unconscious, the whole thing is like, I'm going to do it. Yeah. 2 weeks later, reality sinks in and they're like, oh, it's actually a lot harder than I thought. It's actually a lot harder than I thought. So the congruence is time bound. When you actually work with a professional coach, and Jay mentioned before, visualizing in the future, professional coaches, we will use a future pace and we'll do some kind of visualizations in the future to help that congruence last. There's no point helping someone to make a goal if they're not going to be, if that goal isn't going to stand the test of time. And a lot of people end up wanting to make $1 million, but a month or 3 months on their way, they stop. And for the coaches here, coaches are completely doing this too. The video I listened to spoke about coaches making 6 figures, and there's a whole pile of videos and podcasts about coaches making 6 figures, as in 100,000 US dollars a year, which isn't much anymore. But the videos are all about making $100,000 a year in 6 months. Does anyone know anyone that's ever done that, by the way? Does anyone know someone that's made 6 figures, that's made a pile of money in coaching in 6 months? I think I may know someone, maybe. I think she might have been a human resource director, high human resource director in a company. And she slowly started coaching, and then she did a course and she may have made it. Maybe. But I know a pile of coaches, not deeply and personally, but I do know a bunch of coaches that claim to be doing it and they haven't. I hired one of these millionaire mindset coaches. I paid him $500 per session. And he told me, and he really opened up, and we did some good work. We worked together for like 6 or 9 months, and he showed me, yeah, that coach is fake, that coach is fake, that one's 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 fake. And he pointed them all out. And he knows they're fake because he actually worked and was hired by a pile of them. And he's told me, don't fall for the crap. There's a whole pile of people selling get rich quick. And he's like, fake, 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 fake. So a lot of people like me buy a course thinking that in 6 months' time, you'll make 6 figures. Just be aware of that. Yeah. I am still yet to meet anyone that's definitely done it and can put their hand on their heart and congruently say, yes, I learned and I went from nothing to 6 figures in 6 months. I've never heard of it. I've never heard or never seen and never met these people. I met a bunch of coaches and trainers in Shanghai my first night. I've traveled the world. I've met tons of coaches. Still yet to meet anyone that's actually done that. But if you watch YouTube, you'll see millions of them. I've got tons of friends that have YouTube channels. I just don't meet. So there's too much incongruence. So when we want to get to congruence, the big issues are things like fear of the unknown, fear of failure, and the comfort zone. And these issues can manifest in a variety of ways. Procrastination, confusion, lack of clarity. Some people will tell you what they want, and I'll often ask them, is a good coaching question is, do you have a clear picture? And a lot of people will say, no, I don't have a clear picture. Coach, that's where coaching is great. Now, can I see hands? Does anyone here have a clear picture of what they want to create in the next 12 months? Does anyone have a clear picture? Cahill, yeah. Yeah, great. Okay. When we have more of a pathway, it becomes clear. A clear path gives us a certain feeling. So those that have a clear picture, how do you feel about that goal when you have a clear picture? And have you made a connection with a clear picture or a fuzzy picture and how it may feel different? Now, if you're going to go to a foreign airport, yeah, or your flight is going to go through Kyrgyzstan, and you're like, where in the world's Kyrgyzstan? You might want to pull up Google and have a look. Oh, there's Kyrgyzstan. And as soon as you have a look, you gain some clarity. Yeah. If you're going to a new city, a city you've never been before, maybe I pull up the map. Maybe you pull up Wiki. We do stuff to get more clarity. What happens when you get more clarity? Get more confidence. People are always moving away from the pain, confusion, danger, discomfort. And this is one of our biggest motivators. So the two key driving motivators towards, these are the things we're generally moving towards, and they're the things we're moving away. We want to reduce or reframe or work on. And when people, I think it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. He says, once you've gone bankrupt, you're much more likely to succeed financially. Because once you go bankrupt, it kind of eliminates or reduces the fear of failure. I've got some people that were on the edge of divorce, and they're on the edge of divorce. I took them, what happens if you divorce? What's the worst case? And a lot of the times when people go and they face the fear, even in a 30-minute session, they face the fear, it kind of dramatically reduces the fear. Right? Reduce confusion, reduce discomfort, but you can use them. We reduce it, we increase our towards motivation, and ideally, we have maximum towards, but there's times when you want. And the best way to do it? Simply talking, communicating with a little basic skill. Not talk therapy, as in blah, 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 blah. Talk therapy with spotting the incongruencies. So I talked to my friend, Vicky. Hey, Vicky. Vicky starts telling me she wants to make love or make a relationship, have a successful career, and then she wants to make a successful career. And there's a change in her body language. Yeah. Or, Adrian, I really want to have a successful career, but. So then as a coach or as a friend, I might go, well, what about the but? And we might focus on the but. And while we talk about the but, a coach has specific questions, but we might work on the but and move it towards more congruency, right? So that's pretty simple. And the way you can do it, there's a great variety of ways: therapy, coaching, mentoring, teaching, training, supporting, awakening. And my favorite one, storytelling. And I've got to tell you, there was a time in my life I was really struggling. And life was hard, life was bad, but I found some great people. And I found great people, and they supported me. And every week when we met here in Shanghai, life got better and better. We would meet every week, and we come along and we do things. So I'm not suggesting that you come to our sessions each week. You can do whatever you like. I just want to let you know that I gained a lot through meeting positively minded people that were comfortable facing their fears. All my friends were very comfortable facing their fears. Now, I'll tell you a story about fear, blah, 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 blah. Storytelling is an amazing way. And why storytelling is so good? Well, you can ask Jennifer here. She publishes books. Storytelling you can do one-to-one, one-to-many. You can do it on YouTube. Storytelling is a magic skill. Often just a good ear is enough. Coaches just do more interventions and sooner. Just rough difference there. Coaches will do their interventions earlier, and they will generally use interventions such as asking the questions and challenging the incongruencies, and ideally do a lot of it content-free. We often end up in boxes, and a box might be I'm a coach. I use these tools. A therapist, they have their tools. Teacher has their tools. But underneath all of those tools, come down an inner congruency. Do I believe in the beautiful potential of my client? Do I believe in the beautiful potential of me. Can you guys just put your hand somewhere on your heart and just ask yourself, do I believe in the full potential of me? How can I increase my trust and my love for me? How can I increase my love and trust for me? That's right. Stay silent, stay calm. How can I increase my trust and my love in me? If I love and trust myself more, is that going to help me improve my life? If I love and trust myself more, is this going to help me improve my life? Is anyone actually feeling a yes, like your body giving you a yes signal? Yeah, great, great. Our body can actually give us yes signals and no signals. Like the muscle testing, our body can actually give us a strong yes and a strong no. What I really want everyone to do this week is I want you to look at what motivates you. Where are you moving away? Where are you moving towards? Where are you moving away? Where are you moving towards? And find or write out a couple of ways that you can improve that love and trust with yourself. When we're communicating with others and coaching others to be congruent and influential with others, the best way is to get higher trust and love for ourselves. Who is someone that can speak and empower hundreds of thousands of people without words? Who comes to mind? Who can move hundreds of thousands of people without speaking words? We'll talk about that next week. I know who I'm thinking of. Jake's like, who's Adrian thinking of? It's not Tony Robbins. He uses a lot of words. There are some people that do a lot of work on themselves and they end up, you can see and feel their aura. You can believe in them. They become more of the spiritual awakeners. The spiritual awakeners. They glow and they walk. So this week, what are you moving towards? What are you moving away? What are your away motivators? What are your towards motivators? And how will I increase that trust and love for myself? As you increase your love and trust for yourself, all your communication becomes more effective. All your coaching becomes more effective. Just imagine if you were being coached by someone who didn't believe in themselves. If they don't believe in themselves, how are they going to believe in me? If my coach doesn't trust himself, how am I going to trust him? If the salesman doesn't trust and love himself, how am I going to trust and love him? So the exercise this week, find how we increase our love and trust for ourselves. Now I'm going to shut up. Thank you all very much for the time. We're on time, but would you like to ask a question? Do feel free. We'll be here next week and the week after.